Today we're talking about something that I had a subscriber reach out to me. He actually works for a company out in Japan that makes really cool pens. And while you may know, you've seen some of my other videos, I've been really getting into pens. Now they sent these out. Their brand is called Wancher. They sent these out to me. I do not need to send these back. Just a quick disclaimer, they don't get to see the edit of this video or make any suggestions before I upload it. So I just want to make sure I make that very clear up front. Now there are two different pens I'm going to talk about today. The first is the Olympus Titan here, where this whole thing is made out of stabilized wood. Now typically when you think of wood, you're not going to think of a smooth surface, but that is not at all what you get here with this pen. This pen is incredibly smooth to the touch. Stabilized wood is a really cool way that they make these sorts of pens. So it is a fully wood pen, but the way that they stabilize the wood is really unique. You can see some B-roll here of them going through that process. The manufacturing to make something like this is really neat. And then they have a titanium set here. So the inside here of this is titanium, and then this is an 18 karat gold nib on the top. This is a medium fine nib, which is my preference typically. Posted, you have a really nice looking pen. I mean, I just absolutely love the look of this. When they asked me to take a look, I was really excited about it. I think the different metals added on here, the depth of the threading they have here is just something I wanted to call out. Really nice action to screwing it on and unscrewing it. The writing experience I'll show here in a second, but just the aesthetics, which is typically why you're gonna buy a nice pen in the first place, is because you like the look of it. I think this pen is fantastic. It does also have a clip on here that reminds me a lot of the Lamy 2000, which is a pen I've talked about many times and really enjoy. So fully CNC'd here, and then it is just like a rock solid clip. I'll show the writing experience here for this Olympus Titan here in a second. The next pen I want to get to is this one right here. And this I'm really excited about. Wancher really made their name in Urushi pens. Now, if you're not familiar with Urushi lacquer, it's basically a different type of pen coating than if it's just like a standard resin pen. It is hand applied. Wooden box. Love the little like aesthetics of having like these little touches. I think I'm a big fan of Japanese culture and a lot of the manufacturing processes, the beauty in Japanese culture. I'm a big fan. I spent 2 weeks in Japan and I absolutely loved it. It's one of those countries I'm very excited to go back to one of these days. So really like the aesthetic of this right out the gate. Even have the information on the box itself rather than a piece of paper. It's just, it's cool. Like it's unnecessary and it's cool. And I love that. Inside here, you have the pen. Now it's wrapped up almost like it's in a kimono. They've got this nice fabric with the flowers on top of it, nice little bead here to be able to unwrap it. Now they do have these little straps that are holding it in place, but they cover it with a little ribbon because again, it's all about the aesthetics. You do have 2 more cartridges here full of ink that they provided as well. And then inside here, you have what is, in my opinion, the best part of this. This is the Aizu Urushi Komanuri, and this is part of Wancher's Dream Pen series. So the base material here is a polyoxymethylene, which is basically a durable engineering plastic. And the artisans then at Aizu Prefecture apply multiple layers of Urushi lacquer using the Komanuri technique. Komanuri means spinning top. It involves painting concentric rings of different colors like black, red, and yellow. The spinning top motif is considered auspicious because it evokes prosperity and abundance. The result here is a vibrant pen with visible brush strokes and depth. Now that has to be the best part of this pen. Typically, if you're looking at an Urushi lacquered pen, you're looking at $600 minimum, usually close to $1,000. Pilot has one of their versions, their custom Urushi, which is going to be around $1,000. This thing from Wancher is going to be closer to the $600 mark, which is why I think they make great name for themselves. Now, it depends on the nib you put inside, but this sort of aesthetic, I love. I'm going to show some B-roll here of them doing Urushi lacquer on a pen. It's just a really cool process, very hand applied. It's just one of those artistic things that you see out of Japan, like you see with Grand Seiko, that people love so much, and you see it here in a pen form as well. So if you're into watches and specifically into Grand Seiko, I think this pen is right up your alley for that reason. Now the dimensions and weight I can put up on the screen, so you can see it's a relatively large pen. As it's associated here, you can see it next to the Olympus Titan that we were just talking about. It is a larger pen than the Olympus, and this does not have a clip on it because it's not supposed to be carried every day. This is a pen you use every so often, rarely. It is also not supposed to be very much of a posted pen. So when you unscrew it, you'll actually notice here but it is not postable, or at least not comfortably postable. And I wouldn't want to post this pen anyway, only because I wouldn't want to like scar up any of this Urushi lacquer. So I would always set the cap off to the side no matter what. But the pen is large enough that it really doesn't need to be posted. There's no back weight need. You do have a standard cartridge converter in here, but it is a large capacity. With a large pen, gives you a large capacity. So I really enjoy that as well. This also features a Wancher nib on it, and this is their fine nib. I do have a video out that talks about my pen collection, which is obviously in this case here. If you're interested in that video, you can check it out. But one of the things that I love about pens like this is it's so different than what you typically buy. Like this is a Pilot Custom 912. This is what most people buy. It's just like, it's a nice fountain pen, but the aesthetics are basically the same from one pen to the next. And this resin compared to this red Urushi is just night and day. I think this is the sort of pen that you're going to keep and because it's a work of art and you're really going to enjoy using, whereas this pen is more about function and it has a nice aesthetic to it. But for the price, given the fact that like this Olympus Titan and this Pilot right here are about the same price, it's really hard not to consider something like the Wancher here. There's a little bit of line variation with this pen, just because there's a little bit of flex in this nib. You can see that there's a little bit of give to it, which I think makes it a nice writing experience. It makes it slightly different than if it was a standard roller ball. I think it's got a good feel to it. It's not too bitey while it's still a fine nib. So you get a nice, simple, little like clean line to it. You can get, as I said, small line variation in here, which again, for a nib like this, I think is really, really nice. Big fan of this pen so far. Writing experience is simple, smooth, definitely something that I prefer. And I like a fine nib in general. And so I think that this is just really good writing experience. Very, very, very nice. Okay, now this nib is going to be a little bit different. You're still going to get some line variation to it. This is their steel nib. This is going to be a fine nib. It's going to feel a little bit larger. Granted, a lot of that's just the top of the case. Once you take it out, while it is relatively thick in the backside, it is still a standard pen, I think, in terms of feeling. Like, it doesn't feel overly large. It still feels like a normal-ish pen, but it obviously has the added benefit of being really, really nice. Now, the longer back, as I said, you can see this is why you don't really need to post this, because it has that extra length on the backside that makes it really comfortable to still use without adding the cap on the backside. I think these pens hit different categories. It really is just a matter of, do you want something that's a little bit more affordable and offers a different aesthetic? Or do you want something that's more like, honestly, an art piece, but still gives you the function of being able to write? So those are the pens by Wancher. I want to thank them for sending these out. There's a subscriber who's commented on several of these videos who actually works for them and reached out to me personally. We've enjoyed talking about pens so far. I'm sure we'll talk about watches as well. If you guys have any questions about Wancher, you can find a link to them down below. I want to thank them again for sending these out so that I could take a look at them. What do you guys think about Wancher in general? What do you think about Urushi style pens, if these are new to you, or the sort of offering they have here with titanium and stabilized wood? Definitely different concepts than what I typically look at when it comes to pens. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.